Right. Oh, my microphone. That's right. We live. I was supposed to get a text message from Xfinity, but fuck me, I guess. I'll just go suck my own dick and die. It still says there's an outage in this area, so if I lose the internet, you guys will know why. Oh. Let's see. There we go. Okay, are we ready for this? You ready to have us some fun? Let's go, Hillbilly Mental Health. Rachel, W guys. Okay. Unfortunately, we're going to skip the gaming stuff. I know that they did a lot of gaming stuff yesterday, but unfortunately, there's just not going to be... it's just not going to happen. I mean, let's be honest here. Let's go ahead and try to get into the politics. Because there was a lot yesterday. Let's see. This is concerning.
There's an Ebola outbreak in Africa and this happened? Wait, Ebola? Ebola? I thought they got rid of it.
Let me see. Husband Gold videos. So we watched the body cam for the Sikh yesterday. All of I think this happened where, in Britain, UK? Yeah,
1.3 million posts.
There were riots yesterday. It was bad yesterday.
It's about it right now. Henry Nowak's story, right? Wow.
They were mad. They were mad.
Oh my God. Literally, bro, are we watching them literally run the Putin? Holy shit.
So, yep. It was bad. It was outrage for Henry Novak. The man, the 18-year-old, I mean, he was basically a young adult, right? Who got his life taken away tragically by a freaking schizo killer with a knife that they shouldn't have even had a knife.
This is what Rupert Lowe said about it. Enough is enough. A deep line needs to be drawn in the sand. Talk is weak. Britain needs to say no more, and I mean it. A Restore Britain government, with the British people's approval, would put Vikram Digwa to death. Henry Nowak...
He should be. He should be condemned to death, and his family should be deported. His family should be sent back.
Black was stabbed by Digwa 5 times. Rather than calling an ambulance, Digwa filmed Harry. Digwa gave the knife to his mother, and it was found by police at their home along with 20 other weapons. Keeping the savage alive serves nobody. Fucking exactly.
Yeah, we need to start putting people... I kind of wish that Rupert Lowe was an American. Guy seems like a beast. He's just gonna say it. He's like, yeah, we should condemn this guy to death. He should be dead. Because he took somebody else's life.
The police officers on the scene who allowed Henry to die.
And the officers should also face like criminal negligence charges or like murder charges or something. There's no reason why any of them should even still be on the police force.
They will face criminal charges for gross negligence manslaughter. Digwa's foreign family will be deported. Britain will be restored. The attacker, I saw this. The attacker was literally wearing his knife as the police arrived, and police still didn't believe Henry was stabbed. That's literally, that's his knife right there. Keir Starmer condemns Nigel Farage for whipping up division.
I think Nigel Farage's reaction is the wrong reaction.
I agree.
How is it?
I think Rupert Lowe's reaction is the correct.
Yeah. I agree with that. Rupert Lowe's reaction is the correct reaction.
Reaction is the wrong reaction.
I agree. I think Rupert Lowe's reaction is the correct reaction.
Through the eyes of the family. They have said they do not want this whipped up.
The reality of this is that this is a countrywide problem, and Henry Nowak was simply a point on the graph. Immigration...
I mean, that's what happens when you keep importing people that are taking jobs and killing people. Like, whenever you start drawing a line through the dots, you end up making a nice little story, you know, like on those old connect the dots puzzles, you know what I'm saying? Like, how many more people have to die and get protected by the police that are supposed to be protecting everybody before, big surprise, you've got people that are flooding the street, destroying everything because the system that is supposed to be helping them is watching them die and not protecting them. Like,
control, politicians not delivering on promises, multiculturalism gone wrong, two-tier policing. So this is the real problem. Henry Nowak is just one guy.
And Nigel Farage is completely wrong. But when Henry's family are saying, please don't do that, it's our son.
It's our son today. It could be your son tomorrow.
That's right.
Neighbor's daughter. It is so much bigger than him. So there's a huge protest because the police effectively handcuffed a dying man who was stabbed to death while they simultaneously immediately took a racism accusation seriously and put the guy in handcuffs.
This was live yesterday, by the way. This was live. This was during a live stream. I didn't directly see the commotion and everything that was going on, but I was in the other room. I was in here actually trying to edit shit. I had it playing on the TV in the other room.
The body cam for it was released last night. Meanwhile, they accompanied they took the murderer to go get dinner. I'm not even kidding you.
The police are getting it.
Yeah, like it's only going to get worse. The fact of the matter is that when these protests die down, which they will, because the government is just going to ignore them, and the protests are going to die down, and this is going to happen again. I don't think that they're at the point where they're willing to, I guess, storm their version of Capitol Hill, whatever that may be for them. And the thing is that it most likely won't change unless that happens. Unless you put them in a state of fear where they either resign or they get voted out. I mean, that at the end of the day, you can protest all you want, but unless you vote these people out, then it's not going to matter. You're going to be setting yourself up for more of this.
It's that bad.
They've just been ran down the whole road. That whole road. They're pushing him back.
They're not either. Holy shit. Can you believe we're watching this live? It's also crazy. The killer previously attacked another person with his sword. Video has surfaced of Henry Nowak's killer, Vikram Digwa, threatening people during a road rage incident with the same knife he later used to take Henry's life.
Come on! Come, recording him. Come on, man. You got big problem, mate.
What does he have in his hand?
Sword, I thought.
Is that his sword? It's a ceremonial dagger? I don't like that.
That's crazy that nobody in that entire country is allowed to carry like that, but just because it's part of his religion, he can. Hey guys, didn't you know it's against my religion that says that no country can let me not carry around my RPG. I have to carry my RPG around. It's my ceremonial RPG.
Ceremony. Henry Nowak's killer
it helps me lay people in pieces to rest, you know.
Arrested and released without charge by police after stealing a cache of knives 2 years before he murdered the university student. So it's another
So he had a criminal record per the usual. I mean, that's kind of what happens whenever you bring somebody from a third world country and all they know how to do is like hurt and kill. I mean,
ones you most expect type situation. It's been causing problems for literally years. I don't understand the reasoning. Why aren't they getting their weapons taken away? Because I thought they were trying to ban a lot of these types of weapons.
The government has banned ninja swords.
Police are urging people to surrender their ninja swords.
It's a two-tier country. It's their religion. So they're letting people walk.
Fuck their religion. Fuck their religion. You know what helps assimilate a culture into another culture? Putting childish things away like swords. If it's illegal for you to carry a weapon like that in public or around in a culture, then maybe you shouldn't have it. Like, I'm sorry, but if you come from a terrorist organization in Somalia and you move to America, that AK-47 that you used to walk around with that's gold-plated, yeah, you probably get some problems here in America. Like,
around with weapons because they say it's their religion.
Like, come on, bro.
When will it end? You know, it's one of those things where it's like you never know how bad it can get. Wait, we're Ebola. Ebola. Government bureaucrats take taxpayer money and spend on. Can I watch this? Why I don't have relief efforts in third world countries so that
government bureaucrats take taxpayer money and spend it on epidemic relief efforts in third world countries so that the epidemiologists with post-grad degrees can be threatened with machetes and local hell bent on contracting Ebola. Well, let natural selection happen. If we're sending people there to help them and they are trying to attack the people that are trying to help them, then we should just take the money back and, well, we should just stop sending them money first and foremost and take our scientists back and use that money to strengthen our borders to make sure the Ebola doesn't come through here. We can set up more checkpoints that are from flights from Africa, or we can just straight up stop taking flights from Africa altogether. I mean,
government bureaucrats take taxpayer money and spend it on epidemic relief efforts in third world countries so that epidemiologists.
If they want to sit there and die of Ebola, then let them die of Ebola. That's their problem.
You try and do a good thing. You try and do a good thing.
Think about how much money America spent on this. Just to show up and be met with knives.
They're trying to get the people out with Ebola. On Twitch, not Twitch, but yeah, I had something come up. It's money that's getting wasted, in my opinion, and we need to be focusing on our own people, right?
The latest Ebola outbreak is outpacing the response, and the International Rescue Committee now predicts it could become the deadliest outbreak of Ebola on record.
It sounds like a them problem. That's kind of what it sounds like to me. It sounds like a them problem. Like, you guys, like, how much money has Africa received from America? Like, how much more money do you have to send a country? Like, come on, man. How much money has America sent Africa in the past 30 years?
Over the past 20 to 30 years,
200 billion.
has provided over $200 billion in aid to Africa.
Holy shit, bro. Like, oh my God. If they want to fix it, they'll fix it. Obviously, America sending the money for over $200 billion in the past 30 years hasn't fixed it. We should just stop sending the money. Just like stop sending the money at this point. Holy shit.
The outbreak is completely out of control. People doesn't trust that, the Ebola is a reality.
When we have fought Ebola in the past on this scale, it has been a combination of the Ministry of Health,
WHO,
USAID, CDC. USAID is fully gone.
That's right.
CDC is badly weakened.
I'm going to be honest, I don't want to have my money going to preventing Africans from getting Ebola. I don't give a fuck.
That's exactly how I feel. I don't care. That sounds like a them problem. They've gotten over $200 billion in the past 30 to 20 years. Like, dude, if they want to sit there and attack any of the scientists that go there, just bring the scientists that we got going there back and then cut all the funding off. I'm sorry, dude. These people are living in shacks. When they want to evolve, they'll make a better what's it called? Government that will actually cater to them. I'm sorry, dude. Like, I can't. It's like at this point, what are we solving? We've been doing this for so long. Why? Why have we been doing this? I fail to see the reason why.
We have homeless veterans here. We have people that don't have money.
Exactly. Like, why are we doing this?
We have people that can't afford a house here.
Yeah.
Like, they gotta figure their own shit out. Like, I mean, we've been helping them out for, like, what, 50 years?
It's been longer than that. I feel like it's been way longer than that.
It's done nothing. I don't want to deal with that. Like, who cares? Like, it's
I guarantee you there's going to be a political official that's going to be running within the next 20 years that's going to be voted in based on the fact that he's just going to cut funding off from foreign countries. I almost promise you that's going to be what's going to end up happening. And I don't blame them either, because, like, I would vote for that as well. I don't want my taxpayer dollars going to foreign countries anymore. It's a waste of money. It's literally just hemorrhaging money for no reason. Like, I'm sorry, but after 50 years of trying to help out the African culture and them just coming out with knives and stuff to run off people that are trying to help them with Ebola, fuck them. Like, nah. Like,
another side of the world.
Like, you realize that at one point the African what's its name, whoever leads that bitch was saying that they needed our taxpayer dollars to pay for their fucking condoms? Like, nah, dude. Nah.
Like, yeah, send them a book.
Yeah,
send them a book. So, like, this is how you get rid of it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
To figure it out. It's in your interest to help? Why?
How could it possibly be in my interest?
Like, I mean, like, what do you mean? It's not that. So, like, no, I don't want to have anything to do with them.
The virus is affecting parts of Congo and Uganda. These are the dire scenes in Ituri, the worst-hit region in the Democratic Republic of Congo, or DRC, where civil war, which has displaced around 3 million people...
Oh, big fucking surprise. They're killing each other. Wow, who would have thought they were also killing each other? I wonder where all that money's going. Surely it's not being used to buy AKs and bombs, right? Surely it's going towards their own research and facilities in order to eradicate this Ebola virus, right? Surely.
Further complicates efforts to track and contain the disease.
Are you seeing new cases of Ebola suspected and confirmed in the region every day?
Every day.
Oh my God.
Coming, you know.
Health officials believe a rare strain of the deadly virus was possibly circulating for up to 3 months undetected.
And you know why it was circulating for up to 3 months undetected? Is because whenever you keep catching this virus and it keeps going from host to host, it's going to mutate. You know why it's going to mutate? Because you guys aren't using the money you're supposed to be using on facilities the way it's supposed to be done. Whenever you don't keep a virus in check and it keeps spreading around, it's going to mutate. And when it mutates, it's going to be really bad. And it looks like this is really bad. So
parts of the DRC. That late detection means
a bunch of dead bodies laying around.
More than 1,000 cases of this that are known, and that is likely an undercount, perhaps even an undercount by a factor of
shit out. Maybe. I don't want to have my money reallocated to Africa. I don't want any of my money to go to Africa. Like, this is my tax dollar. I want it to go to America. I don't want trying to civilize these areas for decades. It is a waste of time, a waste of money.
Exactly.
It's dangerous. And at the end of the day, why are we even doing this? Like, what is it like?
If their government won't change to help their people, we shouldn't be subsidizing their war weapons. When you get down to the bottom dollar, that's what it is. I'm tired of subsidizing other countries' war weapons. I'm done with it. I don't want to do it anymore. If the government, $200 billion is more than enough to make a bunch of schools and water wells in that country. But no, we have to send over somebody like Mr. Beast goes over there and then gets scrutinized by a bunch of people that are using all the money that they're being sent to lavish their lifestyles. No, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't. I don't want to fund war weapons. I don't want my taxpayer dollars to go towards some guy living in Africa that takes that money and lives lavishly. I don't want to do it anymore. Fuck off.
To make people feel good? It's ridiculous.
I think it's as urgent as it's about as urgent as any Ebola response has ever been.
Because Ebola spreads via bodily fluids.
We can't even civilize urban American cities. Why the hell are we going to try and do that to come on, man.
Health workers must work in protective gear to safely remove bodies of the dead. But they're often met with mistrust and sometimes anger from remote communities in early stages of their grief.
What are we doing?
Just because...
Fuck them. They want to sit here and attack people that are there to try and help them? Fuck them. Hell. Why are we sitting here wasting our time with this?
Of the burial thing.
What are we doing?
An independent reporter living in Bunia described watching the outbreak unfold and the growing outrage from families in mourning.
Look at this.
Just days ago, angry crowds attacked and set isolation tents and treatment centres on fire.
Why? Why are we subsidizing this? Why?
What are we doing?
It makes no sense.
What are we doing? Why? What do you mean, why?
The fear and lack of trust from locals...
Never forget, the reason why this happens is because somebody that lives behind a computer screen that'll never have to go out and cash the checks that they're writing is the reason why this is happening.
Is so acute.
That's why, so they can feel real good behind their computer monitor.
Symptomatic people are running away from isolation centres before their test results come back and potentially spreading the virus.
So what you're saying is that natural selection is taking its course. Because whenever they get tested at the facility, they run away from the facility, and then they get found dead like 3 days later because they're stupid. Okay. So what you're telling me is that we're wasting a bunch of our time and money. Okay.
Great.
Why are we continuing to do
that? They're really very, very confused. When people doesn't have trust, so they are running with their virus.
The doctors say a lack of hazmat suits and, crucially, lab testing capacity needed for accurate diagnosis and contact tracing is further undermining trust.
Bodies out of the coffins and then touch them with Ebola. Like this.
Trust, I'm worried that the population start to lose trust on me.
And much of the lab capacity in previous Ebola outbreaks, doctors and leading humanitarians tell us, was provided by the US.
Yeah, big surprise. Yeah, sounds about right.
Year, there has been a significant reduction.
I don't see any other fucking country doing it. Go figure.
In American assistance.
Yep.
The US had a $900 million humanitarian...
So we have entire population...
W67 Joules by Clever Knight. Clever Knight.
on life support because we're redirecting money away from Americans into Africa. Like, this entire population is on life support from us. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. It's stupid.
This is our tax money. It's being spent.
Think about how many homeless people that could have been housed or gotten the rehabilitation that they needed from $200 billion in the past 30 years. Like, holy crap. Like, what are we doing, guys?
The bodies out of the coffins and then touch them with Ebola. Great.
Biden administration.
We're literally acting like daycare centers trying to keep these idiots organized. Like, they're attacking the scientists. They're burning down the facilities that have been subsidized by Americans. Why even be there if they're just going to be met with like anger and knives? Like, why go through the headache?
Is big. It's one of the largest humanitarian crises in the world. That dropped to...
Yeah, and it's completely self-owned, too. Big surprise, the people across the frickin' world that are on this spit of land are hitting themselves with a hammer and wondering why they keep dying. Hello?
$100 million last year.
And that cut in US aid, leading American NGOs say, is making it harder to fight the virus now and reduce the chances of detecting it earlier on.
That's crazy.
Well, and it doesn't matter because even if you detect it, then they flee the facility and they get found like days later dead. It doesn't matter if you can detect it or not. The issue is that even if they show up to the facility, they get tested, they don't even wait long enough for the results. Like, what the hell?
It is almost certain that we would have caught it earlier if USAID was still in place.
No, I doubt it. I doubt it. I highly doubt it.
USAID had a network of partners across this region.
This is too bad. Figure
too
it
bad,
out.
So sad. Yep.
Like, I'm so sick of American taxpayers having some sort of, like, obligation to keep entire cultures on life support on the other side of the world. Like, I don't give a shit. I don't. I think it's horrible what's happening over there. But surely, if we keep giving them fish, they'll learn to fish, right? Surely.
W2 Jules for the
Congo,
star. Clever night.
mission,
Clever night.
A permanent stand.
I haven't seen any new stuff by Ben.
A mission and team in Congo that was in regular communication.
Jeremy Konyndyk served under Presidents Obama and Biden as a senior official in USAID, working to tackle COVID and international disasters.
So I used to run that aid at USAID.
And the problem with it is, as well, is they're using the same tactic that they used whenever the daycare funding got cut off to Minneapolis. Oh, but all the kids that need this aid, but it's like if you had handled it and did what you were supposed to with that money and made sure that it went to the resources that these people needed, then you would still have it. But you didn't. Come to find out, it was being used to fund a shitload of protests in America. No more. No, you don't get to claim this moral high ground whenever you don't even make sure that the moral high ground is being used in a way to actually go to the places that need resources. You don't get that anymore. You've had that taken away like a toy. No.
What they're doing now is not any more or less efficient, but it's much smaller. There are fewer partners, there are fewer clinics, and I think that's not efficiency, that's just downsizing.
Yeah, and Congolese doctors on the front line against Ebola now appealing to the US to urgently scale up support.
No. Why? So we can send more people and money that can get chased off and burned in facility fires? No. Absolutely not. Hell no.
People are really scared.
Not.
Nope.
It's our humanity, So
yeah, and your humanity is meeting scientists that want to help you with knives. Sorry, but that's not really my problem anymore. If they want the help, then they'll get it. If they don't, then oh well.
Then why don't you get over there to those fucking villages and tell them to stop dragging the fucking dead babies out of a casket?
Exactly.
How about that? Just stop doing that. These other countries, Ebola, international aid shares. Yeah, the U.S. is spending like 50% of all of this. Like, why?
$600 million in the year 2018 to 2020, dude. Fuck that.
Why do we have this obligation to do
this?
Dude,
think about how many homes we could have made for homeless people with 600 mil. Dude, like, come on.
China only spends 1 to 3%. Focus on spending medical teams and bilateral supplies. Yeah. See, there's an entire industry of these people that are making money off of this. Why does the U.S. have to be the ones that help? Exactly. Like, I think it should go down to, like, we're probably at 1 to 3%, right? And so that's it. That's what we need to go to. China's the most invested, but the least contributing? Yeah, because they don't care. Like, the entire premise of, like, oh, you have to do this? No, you don't. Obviously you don't, because China's not doing it.
I always wondered about that whenever I was growing up, too. I was like, why are we sending all this money to these foreign countries? Why the hell would we do that? Oh, well, humanitarian. I don't care. Clearly, they don't care either. They're chasing off all the scientists and killing them. I mean, shit, if they don't care, why should we? I don't want to cater to a bunch of grown-ass adults in a different country that would just as soon kill you as they would act like they probably wouldn't even piss on you if you were on fire, even though you're trying to save their life. No, dude, like, hell no. That's so like that. That's actually like the theme of Rambo. Like, I don't want to do it, man.
It's just simply not true, and it's invented by people that want to take more of your money and reallocate it to third world countries.
Exactly.
So they can fulfill their fucking pathological empathy. Absolutely not.
No, fuck off. Exactly. Absolutely not. Nope. This was uploaded 19 hours ago. Okay, here we go. Okay, so W Decoy, go check out Decoy on YouTube. Go check out Decoy on YouTube, W Decoy, hell yeah, Decoy. If you're new here, sub to the channel, like on the stream. I'm here every day as long as the apartment doesn't get struck with a bolt of freaking lightning. Hell yeah, so let's roll up. Oh, wait a minute. Damn, how have I been missing all this, dude? Hold on. Is there people donating in chat? I'm sorry, donators. Hold on. W2 stars from Clever Knight. Is there something else too? I thought there was something else. Oh, the 2 jewels from 10 jewels from Clever Knight as well. 2 stars from Clever Knight. W Clever Knight, dude. Clever Knight hooking it up. 250 jewels from Clever Knight. W Disco Ball. What else do we have here? Bro, he's hooking it up in chat. Check out that channel membership, by the way. W chat. Hell yeah. Sub to the channel. Check out Discord.
Samurai Cowboy Cops. This is Game of Thrones tier riot control. Always paint rounds going off.
Wild, bro.
And again, there's kind of more journalists than there are activists. It's really telling as to, is this movement actually, does it have...
It's because they don't have any money anymore. The people that are showing up are either fucking stupid or they're zapping away what little money they have left. I mean, these protests have completely fallen apart compared to what they used to be.
Any traction? Do the people care?
No, they don't. They don't care, obviously. How's it going, Kevin?
Oh no! To my understanding, these little medical, like the first aid things on their back, it's just tape, and they're just finding a random rioter to say, "Okay,
I'm here every day. I'm here every day as long as the internet's on and the power."
you guys are gonna get the extra equipment, and you're medics. Like this full-on LARPing now. Guessing these are paint rounds. But, okay, so it's good. It's state police. Even though chat, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't New Jersey's governor Democrat, so at least they deployed them.
I think they didn't want another issue like what happened in Minneapolis. Like, the governor can sit there and cry and bitch and moan all they want, but the thing is that the police still have a job to do, and that's riot control. I mean, at the end of the day, the governor can say whatever they want, the mayor can say whatever they want, but law enforcement still has to do their job. And that's the reason why J.D. Vance went down to Minneapolis and put them in our place. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, this is like Game of Thrones here. Oh, he's a medic. You can't hurt him. Yeah.
I don't know about you, but if you sitting there trying to preach up like it's some kind of war going on in the streets, last thing you want to do is mark medics.
Your wife said there's paramedics from Mexico at the riots. I do know there was a lot of people out of state, at least. It's crazy. Well, even the Democrats are fed up with this.
Yeah, I mean, like, even Democratic mayors are coming out and saying that Antifa is, like, going to these protests and amping it up to the point where it becomes violent. It's the thing is that this group of terrorists, which is what they are, the Antifa is a known terrorist organization in America. We acknowledge them as a terrorist organization because that's what they are going around to these different protests and inciting this violence. I don't think a lot of people realize that it's the same group of people. It's probably like 20 or 30 of them, and they're going to each one of these protests and amping everybody up. the Democratic elected mayors have one of them has stated this. It was a lady. The thing is they don't realize how much of in the minority they are. Especially now that the protests are kind of just empty.
Nonsense. I honestly feel like they're always keeping them on reserve in case they need them for enforcing the law. Oh, F you, we're gonna throw a gate. Like, okay, you guys kinda, you've earned it now. Sad to say you've earned this. I told you not to go nicely. Is that a giant cello? Or like, what's the, like a standing bass? Again, I'm not a musical agent. This guy really, this guy, good on him. I don't think that guy seemed like he was all streets as they're getting beaten and tackled by this brigade of horses. Another team's field, and we're losing like 28-3. The camera people. And the governor said a fair number of those arrested were from out of town. Yeah, I think they need to get on top of that. So, because somebody's funding this. The Dodgers at the Super Bowl. I'm talking about. Yeah. Being polite, because here's the thing: is like, a lot of people don't understand.
By Clever Knight.
You can have a very, very well trained horses, and these horses are very well trained. Like to be able to be in this environment and not be constantly
Jules from Clever Knight
freaking out. These are amazing horses. You still only have so much control over them before they start bucking. And anybody that hasn't spent time around horses, you don't want any of these people to get hurt like that, because they would be.
I do. If you're up there, abusing that horse, and that horse turns around and cracks your skull open and leaves your fucking brains all over the pavement, that's what you get. You go up and you hit that horse, and that horse kicks you. Well, guess what? Maybe you shouldn't have fucking done it.
Morgans?
I can't believe we're trying to defend animal abuse now. No, absolutely
so
not.
Blasting on him, and then Higby says, absolute melee between state troopers and protesters at Delaney Hall. It gets bad. What is wrong with you? All we want to do is block federal ice facility actually ended the lives of apparently they're heroes now. I don't know why you would put them on a pedestal. It's tragic they lost their lives, but what were they expecting? That they were just gonna play LARPing forever? No, this was always going to be an inevitability. But they're like, whoa, you guys are
well, my favorite thing is that, like, in Minneapolis, whenever Renee Good got completely fucking killed, and I, obviously she was just sitting there trying to be a domestic terrorist, which is the reason why they had considered charging her with that. They should. Ever since she had been shot and killed, you noticed how they haven't been using their vehicles to blockade federal agents anymore? Yeah. Like I said, you start facing these people with repercussions, you will see an end to it. Start giving them repercussions. Like, think about how many of these people ended up in jail. Like, the federal office is going after them like crazy. They just don't know it yet.
Taking it too far. Yeah, it's stupidity. Yeah, as a rule, you don't mess with animals that are bigger than you. As a rule, you probably shouldn't mess with individuals that are larger with you, especially armed individuals. There's a way you can change the way things are politically, but LARPing as a medic isn't one of them.
Well, Nick Shirley was covering the Antifa that was in Spain. It was Spain that we had watched yesterday. Antifa was in Spain, and they were all wearing black. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, you crack down on them, they despawn. You know what I'm saying? Just crack down on them. Just crack down on them. Watch them scatter like the roaches they are.
Said about our government, I don't think it's bad. I saw your vaccine. Journalists, unless he's his buddy, but I don't know. I think they actually put the Rolex on the guard, the ICE agents. So ICE agents actually arresting this guy. Hey, we're just doing our job. We work here. You stand there. They have a little N95 mask. They made him morbidly obese, and they put like a silly face on it because nothing means anything. I like this. Yeah, the rioters, not protesters. people supporting ICE outside the ICE facility, but there are people for it and against it. And I'm really seeing a
damn, bro, look at that. Yo, W protesters. W, like, these are counter protesters. Go get them, big dog.
a whole bunch of passionate.
Well, you know what's crazy? Look at the ratio. Like, these guys are like, some of these are media at the front line here. They don't even have a full stance here. And then, like, you look over at the pro-ICE members, like, look at the difference.
I don't want to say passionate patriot, but I'm saying a whole bunch of passionate Americans here, loving the country, and I'm seeing...
Look at all those flags. That's the most flags I've seen in a while. And they're being respected, too. I'm shocked.
Yeah, activists.
W
I
protests.
see camera guys on this side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see all the camera guys? It's all the press.
Okay, so, but the line didn't last for too long, because eventually, as Scootycaster shows us, there is lighting tires and garbage on the street, because apparently, nothing helps the immigrants locked up in the ICE facility than lowering the air quality. Because this bonfire of this tire fire, literal tire fire, went to event to like different things that defines their activism. It's like the McDonald's ad, Michael Jordan saying, "Stop it, get some help." Yes, oh thank you. With
they should get some help.
Knowing full
honestly.
well.
Do you guys have any idea how many of these schizos I've pulled up in chat? They're just so brain dead and brainwashed that they're just attacking me, and I'm like, bro, you're super aggro. And then they're like, you're mad, and I'm like, whatever you say, man.
Happen, but they got the Bearcat.
Just go get help, bro.
Have bear mace, guys, with a rock. Horrifying things.
And them police aren't that. Those police just aren't messing around anymore. They're so done with it, bro. They're just so done with it. And can you blame them? I mean, come on. Seriously,
oh this
is ridiculous.
Their instinct is didn't save all the.
Yo, W Decoy, go check out Decoy on YouTube. Hell yeah, Decoy. I saw that there was more information about what was it? It's like Reckless Ben. No, there isn't anything new. I thought someone had said that there was something new. There isn't anything new. There is nothing new that we can look at when it comes to that. Do we have... We watched that yesterday. Wasn't Nick Shirley at a protest? I thought he was at a protest. Am I wrong? Somebody was at a protest. I don't know. Look at that. We might actually get into some actual like Fox News stuff, guys. Hot damn, look at that. Let me see. Oh wait. Aswin upload something new? What is this?
So one of my mods linked me this, and it was Tim Sweeney talking and criticizing Steam. Let me see if I can pull this up and find it. There's can bully developers into not passing on savings to customers to competing stores with.
If a store with dominant market share taking a 30% cut can bully developers into not passing on savings to customers on competing stores with lower fees, then competition doesn't stand a chance. No, you're charging more because you're assholes. Like that's what it is.
Lower fees, then competition doesn't stand a chance. So let's take a look at what the post is. Newly revealed court documents from an ongoing antitrust lawsuit claim Valve once threatened to remove Rainbow Six Siege from Steam after Ubisoft tried selling their game at a lower price on their own storefront, Uplay. According to the reports, Ubisoft said the cheaper starter pack version of Rainbow Six Siege outside of Steam. Valve additionally warned Ubisoft the game could be removed if the Steam pricing difference wasn't addressed. Ubisoft changed, of course, and the game remained on the platform.
Okay, well, there you go. Problem solved.
Well, why is this? I mean, is this the original post? Okay, let me see if I cost of components or Steam that Steam customer spending ultimately funds, and economic trends have created severe disruptions in the components parts supply chain for mega yachts. So he's trying to shit on Gabe. So he's getting mad and shitting on Gabe. That's my entire bit of advice. That's everything that I think you should.
This is the gaming thing. We'll watch this tomorrow. We'll do that tomorrow.
Voters in California headed to the polls today, and this could be epic. Two matchups getting national attention. That race for Los Angeles mayor seeing some big momentum for Spencer Pratt. Many voters.
Come on, Spencer Pratt. Bring it home, baby.
Current Democrat Mayor Karen Bass, who failed to clean up rampant homelessness and fentanyl-ridden streets. I'm Harris Faulkner. You are in the Faulkner Focus. Upstart candidate Pratt exploding in popularity. He's making a competitive run to lead the nation's second largest city. And he's calling for some common sense solutions to problems that have long plagued L.A., which include the homelessness I just mentioned, drug addiction, and so much more. A Washington Post writer characterized it as, quote, breathtaking squalor, and adds to that the Palisades fire, which killed 85 people, destroyed thousands of homes. Incumbent Democrat Mayor Bass launched a program designed to improve life.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, who knows?
For people in LA. It cost taxpayers more than $300 million.
Jesus Christ.
So far, and the results? Not good. It helped only about 1,500 people find permanent housing at a cost of about $200,000 each.
Holy shit.
40% of the people participated ended up back on the streets. And just one example of huge dollar liberal initiatives that have not worked on her watch. One political strategist, Katie Zakaria, says that's why change is coming.
The people turning out.
Hit like, guys. Don't forget to hit like if you're new here. Sub to the channel. I'm here every day as long as things line up. I guess.
Spencer Pratt are excited for solutions. The people turning out for Karen Bass are just going to be the same old tired Democrats that vote party line and don't really want to hold these people accountable. They're not going to be people from the Palisades. They're not going to be people.
They're not going to be people that are affected by this. That's the real problem. Whenever you've imported your own voter base and you've given them free housing. Yeah, the thing is like it's not gonna blow over so well. I think that if Spencer Pratt doesn't win this time, he should definitely try it again. Another 4 years of Mayor Bass might change their minds.
Who are experiencing the constant homelessness on their streets. They're going to be just the tired old Democrat voter that is going to keep the establishment in.
And the other key contest in California.
And you know why? Because it's working. That's why.
Today, the primary for governor. Term-limited Democrat Gavin Newsom is on his way out. Steve Hilton is a Republican candidate in that race to replace him. He'll join me in Focus moments from now. First, let's go to Matt Finn at a polling station in L.A. Matt.
Harris, it's time for voters here to decide who will replace Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom and, of course, who will be the new mayor here in Los Angeles. The current mayor, Democrat Karen Bass, fighting to keep her job. We caught up with Bass in the final moments at a diner yesterday where she used her signature attack.
L.A. does need him really bad. L.A. needs him so bad.
On opponent, Spencer Pratt.
It's not just that he has no experience in city government. I don't know that he's ever held a job in his life.
I love hearing from somebody that's run an entire state literally into the ground with homelessness rampant, houses that have been burnt down because resources weren't allocated the way they were supposed to, about how to run a state or a city for that matter. That makes me so happy to hear. I love that she's running on that, and then people are voting for her because they're stupid.
Other than to be a reality TV star.
As Los Angeles struggles to keep Hollywood.
I've never understood this mentality. Please somebody explain this to me. Well, we can't hire you, or you can't qualify for this position because you don't have experience. No shit. You don't say. How do you get the experience? Well, you have to work the job. Really? Huh. That's really interesting, isn't it?
Production in town. We asked Mayor Bass why she says Pratt's years of work as a reality TV star is not a real job.
Mrs. Bass, isn't a reality TV star a job? You made millions of dollars.
Thank you, everybody.
So much. Thank you so much for coming.
The LA mayor's race has exploded with interest as former reality TV star Spencer Pratt has gained popularity and outraised Bass by millions of dollars. The third top-tier candidate is progressive councilwoman Nithya Raman, who just cast her ballot in Los Angeles a short while ago this morning. The key issues: open-air drug use. It's all around. Homeless encampments. And the historic fires that happened as Karen Bass was mayor. Pratt says he's the common sense candidate.
Bro, that literally looks like an apocalyptic zone. What is this?
I just want people to feel safe. I want families to be able to thrive in the city. And it takes the whole city to actually change.
And in the governor's race, President Biden's former HHS Secretary Javier Becerra has surged, now considered neck and neck with Democrat Tom Steyer and former Fox News host Republican Steve Hilton. The polls are open right now. They're open until 8 o'clock tonight. If you're mailing in your ballot, it has to be postmarked by today here in California. Back to you, Harris.
All right, Matt, thanks. That's where we'll start. I want to go to the governor's primary in California now. There are 61 candidates, and 3 of them have emerged. You just saw that from Matt Finn. They are the top contenders. A new op-ed points to the desire for change across that state. It says California Democrats bored their own voters into submission. Quote, the race to replace Newsom has largely been a contest among Democrats to see who hates Trump the most. The Rage Olympics have erased any distinction among them and any discussion of real solutions to California's many problems.
Yeah, I see that. I see the trolls rolling in together.
And all the good ideas have come from the Republicans, especially Steve Hilton. His proposal to end state taxes for incomes under $100,000 per year was so compelling that Katie Porter simply copied it. President Trump has endorsed Hilton and posted, Democrats have done an absolutely horrendous job. People are fleeing, crime increasing, and taxes are the highest of any state in the country. Steve can turn it around. We will make California great again. He will never let you down. Steve Hilton joins me now. Those are some important big words. First of all, I want to just get your take on how this has really gotten down to the 3 of you from 61. That is a huge number.
Well, Harris, it's great to be with you, and it's a very special moment for me because if you recall, my very first interview on the launch day of my campaign was with you on this show. And this is a very big moment for California because we have the chance to change the trajectory of this state. People are fed up after 16 years of one-party rule. You see it in LA, as you just described, and up and down the state where I've been traveling. These candidates the Democrats are putting forward, they're useless and hopeless. You've got the billionaire climate fanatic Tom
I was wondering, I haven't seen you in a while.
You've got Javier's incompetent, you've got Javier Becerra, Biden's incompetent health secretary. Even Biden cabinet officials say that he was useless. There's a majority for change in California. 56% say we're going in the wrong direction. It's all to play for this year, but we've got to get a Republican in the top.
Whatever direction you think is wrong is wrong. I mean, look at California right now. It's a Rust server, bro. Like, what do you? something has to give here, man.
Too. I've won the Republic.
If you don't think that California's cooked, I don't know. I don't think there's anything on this planet that you could possibly read or watch that will aid in your endeavor at trying to open your eyes towards this massive problem. It's rampant fraud going on in the state. They're trying to literally take away the First Amendment right of freedom of the press. There's homeless everywhere. There've been actual YouTuber people that have gone down into the streets of LA and found tables where there are city hall members allegedly handing out cigarettes and alcohol to just random homeless people in order to get signatures for votes. Like, it's cooked. It's completely cooked
by a landslide. If you look at
all the houses are burnt down. Funding that was supposed to go towards the houses, that the people that lost their houses, went towards incarcerated members in jail before they even went to the people that lost their houses. It's crazy over there.
Details of all the polls. I've beaten the other Republican, the nearest one, by 65 to 35%. But we don't have that kind of primary in California. We have this top two system. And the truth is that Tom Steyer, who's now spent $220...
California used to be an amazing place. It was beautiful. Look at it, dude. Like it's literally a Rust server. There's just shit everywhere. Bro, they're out there building Rust bases and trying to make helicopters out of trash cans and attacking people, and like they're running around the schools naked. Like, come on, bro, what is this?
$1 million trying
Place
to buy
a
this
shithole
election.
now.
He's caught up. So we really have a 3-horse race for 2 spots. Today is the day. Don't take a risk. Everyone watching in California, we can change things. We don't have to put up with this insanity, but you've got to go out and vote for it today. I'm the only person that can get into the top 2 who will bring the change we need.
Where would you start first? I mean, you just listed, and I've listed all the problems in that state. I mean, the Democrats on watch there continue to get elected year after year after year, election after election, and things get worse. So there's a lot to be done.
Exactly right. Well, my mission is very straightforward. Cut your costs, help your business, fix our schools. That's the foundation of everything else. We got to get our economy back on track. Right now in California, we have the highest unemployment rate.
We don't have to live like this. You're right.
In the whole country.
Force them into jail or force them to go to into a program that will help them get off the street. Tell them you can either go get off the drugs and alcohol by choice, or you can be put in jail and forced off by force. I mean, it's your decision. That's what they did in D.C., and it worked. That's what needs to happen. Either put them in jail or send them to an institution where they can get rehab. Straight up.
The highest poverty rate in America.
Like, why are we giving out fistfuls of needles for these people? No, they should be handing out fistfuls of handcuffs. Straight up.
Louisiana. And Chief Executive Magazine ranks
it's literally a light switch. Just click it on, you know?
California as 50th out of 50 for business climate. We got the highest cost of living, highest.
That's fine. If they don't want to work, then they can go sit in jail. Straight up. If they don't want to work, fine. Don't work. Just go to jail. If you're found to be like a vagrant or like homeless anywhere in California, just put them in jail. Oh, well, you know, I don't, you know, I want to get a job. Okay, well, then you can sit in jail. I mean,
prices, highest housing costs. That's why hundreds of thousands of people are leaving. And even more worryingly for our long-term future, so many businesses are leaving. So we're not generating the wealth and the opportunity. And it's heartbreaking to see the next generation. I did an event not long ago at Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo, beautiful campus there. The young people, it's as if the light had gone out of their eyes when they thought about California. The idea of owning their own home, starting a family, starting a business, doing any of those things that we used to offer the best of all in California, they assume it can't be done, that they have to move to another state. That's what we've got to turn around. And the practicalities are very end the bloated, nanny state, bureaucratic government that's crushing every business.
Let me step in on that gas for a second. I mean, it's ridiculous. You could almost cut it by what? In LA.
But she can't crack.
California's gas prices are unworldly. I'm sorry, dude. Like, I don't know what the hell they were thinking with those gas prices in California, but they obviously hate everybody. Like, let's not even mess around with that, bro. Seriously. Holy crap. New U.S. faces down Iran drones. More. So this clown is attacking America again. Not serious about a ceasefire. Drags on negotiation. Yeah, of course they're not serious about a ceasefire. They never were.
Talks with Iran are not like talks with Switzerland. Okay? They're very different. They have agreed to negotiate aspects of their nuclear program that just a month ago or just a year ago they were.
These ass clowns have agreed to negotiate with Americans so that way they could possibly do a sneak attack with their little toy drones, and America keeps slapping them away like they're fleas, because that's what they are. They're fleas. Even the countries around them are slapping these drones down like they're nothing, because they are nothing. They don't want to make a deal with America. If they wanted to make a deal with America, we would be at a deal already. They would have did whatever we wanted and called it at that. It's obvious. It's blatantly obvious they don't want to make a deal. So why the hell are we still trying to make a deal with these clowns? Like, seriously. They don't want it. Just bomb them. Bomb the IRGC. They're just trying to find a point where they can do a sneak attack and blow something up that they shouldn't be blowing up during a ceasefire. If they're doing more drone attacks, start bombing them. And don't stop until they come to the table with honest agreements.
Using to even mention, much less enter into discussions about. That is not a guarantee that ultimately it will lead to a deal. I think there are indications out there that he is increasingly engaging at some level, although all of his communications have been in writing and through intermediaries.
When he said he means the supreme leader who's been brutally defiled. In just a few hours, Secretary of State Marco Rubio heading back to the Hill for another day of testimony on the Iran war. After CENTCOM confirms the U.S. carried out another round of self-defense strikes against Iran as a shaky ceasefire remains in the balance. Our next guest served under
It is. That's exactly what it is. It's 50 years of the same shit. Fix this shit, man. Oh, we're gonna make another deal with the terrorists that they totally won't violate the treaty like last time, bro. Come on, the guy even said he wanted revenge. What the hell are we doing here?
Council and was
either end this war or leave it. Seriously, either do what it takes to win the war or leave it. Stop wasting everybody's time and money.
The architect of the Abraham Accords, Army combat vet Robert Greenway joins us now. Robert, the talks are frustrating. Why do you think they're so frustrating with Iran? Obviously, it's not Switzerland, but there's an additional challenge, isn't there?
Well, it's because they think they haven't been completely freaking obliterated. That's the problem. You've got a bunch of religious nut jobs that don't want to realize that they've been absolutely ass fucked. I mean, that's what's going on here. They've been bent and they don't like that, so they're mad. Blow them up. Let's see how that moral high ground goes whenever you're 10 feet under. Like, seriously, like,
yeah, it's good to be with you, Brian. There is an additional challenge because of the attacks that have taken place and the circumstances after now several months of conflict with Israel and the United States. It's not clear anyone's in charge in Iran. I think the IRGC are exercising limited control over parts of their organization, but the civil side, I think, is broken down. As a result, it's incredibly complicated to deal with Iran under normal conditions. So these are certainly not normal. It's not clear that anyone is sufficiently representing the Iranian position or could enforce the terms of an agreement if one is reached.
So we're looking now, Iran's cadence is this. We tried to hit American resources.
Blake Kelly? Blake Kelly.
That doesn't work. We try to break the blockade.
I try to make that very clear whenever I say Iranians. Those, like, Iranians are the citizens that have been occupied. The IRGC is what I am referring to whenever I say bomb them. Okay? I want to make that very clear. The IRGC needs to go.
It's not effective, so we hit the Gulf states. And, of course, 63 hurt in Kuwait at the airport. They actually went for our bases in Kuwait. We had some people injured at our bases. And now we have the Gulf states pressuring us outside.
Okay, then why the fuck don't we bomb them? Bomb the shit out of them. They doing it to us. Hello?
UAE not to take action. How does that figure into whether we do?
They want a peace too? Bombs are indiscriminate.
Take action.
I mean, they can sit there and get bombed all they want. But when it comes to American citizens and American lives, everybody gets a bomb. It's the Oprah bombing show, okay? You get a bomb, and you get a bomb, and you get a bomb. Everybody gets a fucking bomb.
Pushing us seemingly not to take action.
Yeah, these actions, and it's easy to lose count of the number of missile and drone strikes that Iran has taken against commercial and civil shipping and infrastructure, including the international airport terminal in Kuwait last night. It's unclear that they're serious about negotiations at all, nor would they be.
You're going to try and make a deal with people that are willing to bomb an airport terminal? An airport terminal, guys. What the hell could you possibly solve by bombing an airport terminal? Hello?
We were not negotiating. So if this is what they're like while we're trying to come to an agreement, not to shoot at each other, it's not clear that that's going to last. It's, at the same time, you've also got an IRGC officer in the Southern District of New York, a couple blocks from you, who's currently being tried for actively plotting the assassination of the president's daughter. And so it doesn't seem that this is a trustworthy organization. The current representatives are probably not actually in charge. They're certainly not serious about a ceasefire. Right. I think it's only a matter of time before kinetic strikes begin again.
The competence of Secretary of State Marco Rubio, I don't think can be challenged, but still, Jackie Rosen tried it yesterday. Watch.
I was shocked to see that you were at a party with President Trump in Miami instead of accompanying Vice President Vance to Pakistan for negotiations.
What party was I at? I was at a party?
It's publicly reported, and there's photos there.
But what party? No, but you're going to say that. I'm going to answer it. I'm going to answer that question, because that's an absurd
party. What?
statement. What? I was a party. No.
Advance to Pakistan for negotiations.
What party was I at?
Miami, instead of accompanying Vice President. I was shocked to see that you were at a party with President Trump in Miami instead of accompanying Vice President Vance to Pakistan.
Hold on. Is that real? I don't believe that. Was Marco Rubio and Donald Trump at a party instead of with JD Vance on a flight to Pakistan?
Yes, the claim that Marco Rubio and Donald Trump were at a party instead of with JD Vance on a flight to Pakistan was discussed during a Senate hearing.
The premise that Rubio and Trump were partying instead of joining the flight set events that unfold April 2026. President, company, the White House envoy, Jared Kush, Pakistan diplomatic party. Allegations at the same time, it was noted that the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, and Donald Trump attended a UFC event in Miami. Oh, I do remember that. The UFC event. Yeah, like... Really? That's what you're going? Yeah, he was being patriotic. He was showing up for the people to show his support. That's what you do whenever you're the president. You make yourself look good by going out and kissing babies and shaking hands. Is this real? This is what we're going with. I'm sorry, but the last thing I want to see is Donald Trump, Marco Rubio, and JD Vance on the same plane landing in Saudi Arabia to do negotiations with terrorists. Can we not have three members of the of our government get assassinated at the same time?
For negotiations.
Please and thank you.
Was I at?
Is this even a real conversation?
I was at a party.
It's publicly reported, and there's photos there.
But what party? No. But you're going to say that. I'm going to answer it. I'm going to answer that question, because that's an absurd statement. I was not at a party.
I finish my paragraph. Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, both of whom were never confirmed by this body to be America's diplomats, accompanied the vice president in the negotiations. Even Iran's foreign minister was not there.
Yeah, dude, like Biden was like AFK his entire administration. Like, what the fuck? Hello?
You were not. Was there, excuse me, and you were not.
100% inaccurate and 100% wrong. Here's why. Number one, the vice president of the United States was there. And he wasn't confirmed by the Senate. He was elected.
I don't want to send the president and I don't even know what the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, to a foreign country to negotiate with terrorists. You know why? Because they're terrorists, bro. They have shoe bombs. I don't want to deal with that. Are you fucking kidding me?
The American people. And I was not at a party. Where I was is next to the president. Because in the midst of those negotiations, I was in communications with them. I know your staff wrote up this cute statement for your TikTok video, but it's not true. And it's not real. That's not what happened.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm the National Security Advisor and Secretary of State.
I like seeing the president. I like seeing the president taking care of a war, capturing a guy that has been terrorizing his country, Maduro. I like knowing that Cuba is fleeing and pissing themselves. And I like knowing that he's doing all of this while he's giving press conferences and shit talking and also showing up to events like football games and UFC matches. It shows the strength and the proud patriotism that it is to be an American. While the terrorists huddle in their bunkers and put up cardboard cutouts, our president is giving press conferences and talking shit. I couldn't think of anything that's more American than that. What do you want him to do? Sit there at the White House and fucking curl up in the fetal position and suck his thumb until what? Like, come on. He's doing stuff. I like knowing and seeing the president of the U.S. out doing stuff, knowing that he's doing shit.
I was co-located with the president in the midst of a high-stakes negotiation so that I could immediately inform him about events occurring halfway around the world.
She needed a cornerman to work that after that exchange. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it's remarkable that those that purport to be supporting a diplomatic solution against the use of force don't want a diplomatic solution. It's not clear what they are for, but they help manufacture the problem that the president now is boldly facing and successfully doing so. They allowed appeasement of Iran, unlimited access to resources to develop a nuclear program and a ballistic missile program to deliver it, and support terrorist proxies and surrogates around the region and the world.
Obama didn't let in anyone. He shut the borders down and gave the border Cesar a medal. What you on about, man? He shut down the borders. He ran on the same policies that Trump did. What you on about? How many wars were started under Obama? How many wars? Well, I mean, there was a war when Obama was president. Iraq, Afghanistan. There was already a war going on that was inherited from Bush. He could have ended it anytime he wanted to, but he didn't. Are you an American? The lady did 48 long years. Benghazi. Out the lies while they're trying to micromanage. I mean, I think the biggest problem with Congress is the complaining about fake issues. What a weirdo.
And it seems that, that's what they're in support of. Look,
it's weird because his prior stream that he had watched, I don't even know.
Your talking points resemble the Iranian regimes. You probably need to revisit your talking points. And
W6 joules for the chili W megabyte.
That's what happens. But you're undermining the diplomacy they presumably seek to purport to support.
Robert Greenway, thanks so much. It's obviously a very fluid situation. It could change in the moment. It's not easy, but this is a problem that existed for 47 years. And it's a country that absorbed over 13,000 hits from our forces and over 8,000 from Israel forces. Just because you don't see the video doesn't mean that they haven't absorbed incredible amount of damage under this president. Robert, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch
Iran attacks Kuwait, burning prompts us military response. Yeah, why aren't we attacking them? We should be attacking them. Why would we not attack them if they attacked Kuwait and killed Americans and citizens?
All right, now to the Middle East. The United States and Iran trading fire overnight, complicating the ongoing peace talks.
You think?
Complicating? No, it doesn't seem very complicated to me. It's only complicated if you don't look at it as black and white. We're in a ceasefire. They bombed a place, killed Americans. We should be bombing them back. That's how that works. Like that's what happens whenever you bomb a place during a ceasefire.
Escalating the situation.
Seems pretty black and white to me.
Carrying out strikes at several of America's Gulf allies, including Kuwait.
Our chief foreign correspondent, Trey Yinks, joins us live from Tel Aviv with the latest. Hey, Trey.
Yeah, hey guys, good morning. Overnight, Iran attacked both Kuwait and Bahrain with drones and missiles. We know several people were injured and significant damage was caused to Kuwait's
terrorists and war criminals. That's a funny one. That's funny.
Airport. CENTCOM released a statement saying that an additional wave of Iranian drones attempting to attack...
I haven't seen that excuse in a while.
U.S. forces in Kuwait failed to impact intended targets tonight. U.S. Central Command Air Defenses successfully downed multiple drones and ensured no American personnel or assets were harmed. The Iranian attacks were in response to U.S. strikes that targeted Keshem Island in the Persian Gulf, according to the IRGC. CENTCOM confirmed striking an Iranian military ground control station on the island and described the targeting as defensive in nature.
I'm not. You know how you solve racism? If you're for increasing the voting power of those historically disenfranchised, you realize that that statement is racist? So because their skin color's black, they need more districts? That seems awfully racist. Why can't everybody just be equal, regardless of their skin color? Why do you get special privileges because of your skin color? That seems racist. You can solve racism. Just stop talking about it. Stop giving privileges to skin color. That's how you solve it. Exactly.
For that, U.S. forces also disabled an unladen oil tanker that was attempting to sail toward an Iranian port in the Persian Gulf by firing a Hellfire missile into the ship's engine room. The vessel had received multiple warnings over a 24-hour period. The exchange of fire comes as U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio was on Capitol Hill Tuesday.
I never said pretend it didn't happen. Now you're being intentionally misleading. Now you're bordering getting banned. I never said that. Let history be history. It's been 161 years since slavery. We've, in the year 2005, were the best years of America. You know why? Because everybody was equal. Nobody had ups and downs because of their skin color. There was no segregation. What you advocate for when you advocate for getting more districts in a state because of your skin color is segregation. That is a form of segregation. Do you understand what you advocate for? So what, based on what you're saying, if you apply this logic to, let's say, Nazi Germany, Well, I guess we still have to go and kill all the Germans because they were Nazis at one point. They could do it again. Right? So we have to kill them all. We can't let them ever live past it. We'll fucking kill them. What's the point? What's the point of trying to better their lives or better anybody's lives? Just go and kill them. Just be done with it. Right? Let's kill them for something they weren't even a part of. Let's kill their kids because their parents or their great-grandparents or their great-great-great-great-great-grandparents did something, right? Let's continue to hang that up. Just kill them. Just be done with it. What's the point of moving past it? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the point? Only a white man would say something so disrespectful. Disrespectful? Motherfucker, most of my friends were black. I've dated more black women than I have dated white women. I've dated 2 white women in my entire life. I've dated like 5 black women. I've had like 7 black friends the entire time I went through school whenever I was in elementary. Like what? Looking at skin color is a downfall. It's stupid. Eminem's one of the best rappers of our time. He's white. Like what? You know your problem with that, what makes you racist is the fact that you don't want to get rid of this victim card that you never owned. You never owned this victim card. You didn't. Your great-great-great-grandparents did. We live in a society where you could make millions if you go out and do the cards the right way. I had a friend that I worked with who was black, worked with at Walmart. He invested in crypto and now he's a millionaire. And you know what's crazy? Because he's not a slave to anybody. They didn't take his money away. Stop trying to own this victim card that's not yours to own. You didn't have your teeth ripped out and given to white men. You weren't sold into slavery to the white man by your own people. Slavery's been around for thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years even. No specific race owns that card. And get over it. It's not affecting you currently. You can't use your race card to push your bullshit politics. Everyone is equal now. Slavery is not a thing. At least not in America. And what's even shittier is that I would have been a slave myself. You know who is the majority of slaves? People who have been conquered? Poor people. Those are the two majority of slaves. Poor people and those who have been conquered. I'm poor. I would have been a fucking slave. Stop trying to turn everything into a color game. It doesn't work. It's stupid.
Indicating that talks with Iran continue toward a deal and that Iran's supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, is involved.
They have agreed to negotiate aspects of their nuclear program that just a month ago, just a year ago, they were refusing to even mention, much less enter into discussions about. That is not a guarantee that ultimately it will lead to a deal. I think there are
That's right. My great-great-great-great-great-grandmother that I've never seen before or don't even own any pictures of, allegedly owned slaves back in the day. I should be suffering for it now. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself.
Out there that he is increasingly engaging at some level, although all of his communications have been in writing and through intermediaries.
President Trump posted on Truth Social that he told the Iranians it is, quote, time for you one way or another to make a deal. Guys?
So Trey, to make a deal, you'd have to deal with a guy, the supreme leader, who seems engaged. Remember, we took out his dad, his wife, his
That's
kid.
right. We have equal opportunities. We do. We all have equal opportunities. Everyone, man, woman, white, black, Asian, Hispanic, we all have the same opportunities in this country. Brutally. Sorry, you have to work hard to get there, and you can't just be handed everything. That's just how it is. Nobody gets handed anything. That's how it is. You want greatness, you got to work towards it. That's how it works.
And brutally injured him. And he has said nothing but rhetoric about not only wanting us out, but wanting us out of the entire region. At the same time, the president who we were dealing with seems on the cusp of resigning, and the blockade seems to be working, as the real is worth you need 1 million real for every dollar. And they have electricity, it looks like, 2 hours a day. Do you think in some respects, since our blockade seems effective, that time is on our side?
Yes. President Trump has much more time than the Iranians. The reality is the Iranians are losing hundreds of millions of dollars each day as a result
W800
of the U.S.
joules
naval
from Mossy
blockade
Oak Cracker. W Mossy Oak.
Of Iranian ports.
W.
We have seen the numbers, 90% decrease in Iranian exports. Crude oil extraction at just 50.
Gammon Wade, president. If you're new here, sub to the channel, hit like on the stream. I'm here every single day, 8 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Central Time, as long as the power and the internet, come on.
50%. The U.S. naval blockade is crippling the Iranian economy. And that is the reason that President Trump is reportedly being quite patient and pushing back even on what some allies in the region would like to see.
To forget about slavery. I don't even know what the hell you're trying to say. W10 joules for the thumbs up. W10 joules. W6 joules from Kevin. W10 joules from Nate.
Because he understands that he holds the cards here and that the Iranians can continue this rhetoric. They continue these limited attacks in the Gulf. But the reality is U.S. forces remain across the region. More than 50,000 U.S. service members, fighter jets, refuelers, cargo planes, you name it, here in the region in preparation if President Trump decides.
I mean, my power didn't go out. The internet did, which is so weird about it. It's really weird.
Against the Iranian regime.
The power didn't go out.
You saw last night how quickly CENTCOM can act when they see a threat. In real time, they identified, using intelligence, an active threat from the Iranian regime on Qasem Island, and they struck that threat. Now, the Iranians responded with ballistic missiles. Fire and drone attacks against Gulf countries that have been widely condemned by the Qataris, the Emiratis, and others, because it illustrates how dangerous the Iranian regime really is. And again, the president has a lot of decisions to make here in the days ahead about the timing, but the reality is he holds the cards and he can be patient because of this U.S. naval blockade.
Trey, really quick.
People can't argue with me because I'm speaking from experience. Like, the systems in place that were supposed to help me and my mom whenever I was growing up didn't help us. So when people try to use this bullshit race card, I'm like, no, you need to address the real situation. The real situation isn't your fucking skin color. The real situation is what leads to immigrants coming here and being homeless with their family on the side of the road. Regardless of your skin color or, at this point, nationality. It's the poor people. I was raised worse off than most black people, funny enough. I lived in a trailer that didn't have power the majority of my childhood, didn't have water the majority of my childhood, didn't have floors a good portion of my childhood where it was so cold that you could see your breath. Like, my mom practically killed herself. She had 2 heart attacks and a stroke on a job. Like, and then she had to sue the United States government just to get Social Security checks because she couldn't fucking walk anymore. Bro, you preach it. You trying to bring race into this? You can kiss my ass. Sorry, but you're want to be like, well, because my skin color is different from yours, so we need a leg up. Go fuck yourself. How about this? You work hard, set goals, and you'll get there. How about that? How about you stop trying to act like a victim and start working hard? How about that?
When it comes to the nuclear program, Marco Rubio said that Iran has agreed to negotiate previously off-limit aspects of the nuclear program. What is he talking about? The off-limits that they're
Burns, keep people from leaving. Our own government has bombed its civilians, by the way. Bro, what? Do you have anything to add? Oh, W, welcome to the membership, Mossy Oak Cracker. W Mossy Oak Cracker. Do you have anything to add? It just seems like you're making really weird statements. Man, the tongue tells on itself. Not true, you're white. No, the fuck we don't. I swear. I'm just gonna ban you. Have fun. It doesn't really seem like you have anything to add anyway.
agreeing to negotiate about?
It's a great question because we understand, according to reports, this memorandum of understanding was going to establish Iran never having a nuclear weapon, but the details would be later negotiated in the weeks ahead. And
when you grew up around the racist hustle, you know how to call it out for what it is, regardless of what color you are. Everybody knows it.
Understanding is reached. Those details are still going to have to be worked out. Now, reports indicate late last week in the Situation Room at the White House, President Trump called on his top negotiators to go back to the table and get more concessions from the Iranians to get details on how they can assure they'll never have a nuclear weapon and also what they're going to do with that highly enriched uranium. Guys?
Thanks so much, Trey. So the question is, when are we going to see, you're right, with the setup of what's happening with the financial markets, and that's definitely hurting the people of Iran, the day-to-day folks.
And it hurts us because gas is high.
Of course. The question is, when will we see a crack when it comes to IRGC? When those guys aren't being paid, then that really matters. If it's just the civilians and the day-to-day...
I don't think that's going to matter. I think that the entire government is willing to let all of the people die in the country in order to continue ruling over that country. They're in between a rock and a hard place. If the IRGC surrenders, they will get killed by the citizens that they've killed for decades now. If they don't, then there's a good chance that, for whatever reason, Trump makes a deal with them. They can continue to make their bombs, and they don't face any actual repercussions. They're literally fighting for their life. They surrender, they die. They don't, America's clearly not going to bomb them, so they'll probably live. I mean, let's call it for what it is. They don't care if they're getting paid. They're literally fighting for their life at this point.
That are being hurt, they're not going to go back in the street. They have no weapons to fight against the government right now. So, and until we see the IRGC internally starting to fracture, I'm not sure it really matters.
So this is the toughest question the president has to answer. If he unfreezes funds, like they want reparations. Right. Do you believe that? Okay.
Not getting that.
Yeah, right. But if you unfreeze $6 billion, like Joe Biden unfroze $6 billion to get hostages out. And we were outraged, and we should have been. $6 billion for taking people that shouldn't have been hostage anyway? Okay. But they goes right to the regime. So if we could say they want $100 billion unfrozen, so we do that, and we get the Strait open, and the gas drops. But that $100 billion doesn't go to making people's lives better. No, it goes to everybody paid, gets to terror, and then they go, well, it's their money. Their money, it gets in survival. Now, we leave the blockade in place. They'll have to come to the table because Scott Bessent's done a brilliant job. He's finding all their accounts. That's right. There are other Gulf state accounts. They're in our accounts. Mm-hmm. They're in Western accounts. You know, this guy's supreme leader has an apartment in London. Mm-hmm. So this, the guy that's defiled now, afraid to leave a cave because he's a coward.
Remember, they had family members that were living in California.
So that's the president's big thing. If he says unfreeze the funds, open up the strait. That money sustains them.
Right. You know, the difference is, too, in America, We can
Let's
vote
go,
in our
CW.
leaders. And if prices
WCW.
are high, people are worried. Republicans are worried. If the prices are high, come midterms, what does that mean? But in their country, you bring up a good point. The
reason why they're losing favorship with voters is because they're just sitting there in this Iran war. That's the issue. They had more people that wanted the Iran war whenever they were dropping the bombs. We've been sitting here stagnant for almost 2 months now. Yeah, you're going to lose some favor. Yeah.
GC.
Big surprise. You know why? Because everybody's terrified that this is going to be another forever war, like Iraq and Afghanistan. That's why. And so far, I can't help but wonder if they're not pretty accurate about that. Like, they're literally still bombing Kuwait, and we're just sitting there.
January for protesting.
Yeah, it's the military arm. I mean, they'll argue that you can vote for their parliament, but the parliament, they really don't have any power.
Right. So I would love for Marco Rubio to lead these negotiations. I think that Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff, although well-meaning, have too much on their plate. Doing Gaza, doing Ukraine, doing Iraq. I mean, let's just get Marco Rubio, who pulled off what happened in Venezuela, is about to pull off what's happening in Cuba. Put him in there. He's got more experience in foreign policy. He understands the negotiations. He was chairman.
It doesn't matter if you understand the negotiations. They don't care. They never cared about it, bro. So do we actually attack back or what?
From overnight, the U.S. and Iran.
Like, what's going on with this?
Round of intense strikes, testing that fragile ceasefire amid peace negotiations. President Trump weighing in moments ago on those talks in a brand new interview with the New York Post and Miranda Devine.
We can't let them have a nuclear weapon, and they've already agreed they're not going to have a nuclear weapon.
Have that?
Oh yeah, they've agreed to that. I mean, now they can change their mind, but that was one of the things they had to agree. They've agreed to that. That was the big thing.
All right, now Trey Yinks has the latest. He's live in Tel Aviv to bring us up to speed now. And Trey, hello to you.
Yeah, hey, Bill, good morning. Overnight, Iran attacked Kuwait and Bahrain with drones and missiles. At least one person was killed. And
why the hell aren't we bombing the shit out of them?
More than 60 wounded, in addition to significant damage caused to the international airport in Kuwait. Now, CENTCOM released a statement saying that an additional wave of Iranian drones attempting to attack U.S. forces in Kuwait failed to impact intended targets.
They literally said that it was they were trying to kill American targets. What the hell?
It's tonight. U.S. Central Command Air Defenses.
Why is the UAE forcing Trump into the cuck chair? Like, what are we doing here?
Successfully downed multiple drones and ensured no American personnel or assets were harmed. The Iranian attacks were in response to U.S. strikes that targeted Qeshm Island in the Persian Gulf, according to the IRGC. CENTCOM confirmed striking an Iranian military ground control station on the island and described the targeting as defensive in nature. Before that, U.S. forces also disabled an unladen oil tanker that was attempting to sail toward an Iranian port on the Persian Gulf by firing a Hellfire missile into the ship's engine room.
Yeah, well, maybe you shouldn't have done it, huh? Maybe you shouldn't have done that. Maybe you shouldn't have tried to sail past the American blockade, dipshit. Tends to happen. How many more of these fucking ships do we have to disable?
The vessel had received multiple warnings over a 24-hour period.
Well, big surprise.
The exchange of fire comes as U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio was on Capitol Hill Tuesday, indicating that talks with Iran continue toward a deal and that Iran's supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, is involved. President Trump said in an interview with the New York Post he would be open to meeting the new leader of Iran.
So who's making the decisions?
Well, they say he is giving approval. Because
no, I want the IRGC to be bombed. I want the occupying force over Iran, the IRGC, let me emphasize that, to be bombed. They need to go. I want the only thing that is a victory for me out of this war is the unconditional surrender of the IRGC. That's it. Anything less than that, this is an automatic fail in my opinion, and it was a waste of money. I don't understand why the hell Trump is even trying to come to the deal table with these guys. They're literally trying to bomb civilian airports in Kuwait. The target was were Americans. Like, when does this end? What do we have to sit here for another 47 years before we finally decide to just, like, what? Go to the peace treaty table again? Like, come on. They were supposed to be at a ceasefire, yet they keep violating it. It's completely, it's ridiculous.
Been for a long, long time. His father and then him, I guess it's a succession. But we seem to be getting along quite well.
Would you like to meet him or meet any of the Iranians in person?
I've never thought of it, actually. It's a very good question. I'll think of it. Yeah, I'd like to meet him. I'd like to meet everybody. I'd like to meet him. We probably will meet at some point, depending on how it all works out.
In a post on Truth Social yesterday, President Trump indicated that talks with Iran are ongoing. Bill?
Thank you, Trey. Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv. Back to you with more headlines as we get them. Thank you, Trey. Jackie.
All right, with us now, former Secretary of the Navy, Kenneth Braithwaite. Secretary, thanks for joining us.
Jackie, thanks for having me.
Happy
A real
to have
pleasure.
you here.
Always glad to be back.
You heard Trey Yingst reporting there. You know, we are in our 8th week of this ceasefire.
Yes.
A lot of different pinpricks, including last night, attacks on the airport in Kuwait, persons dead. Has anything been achieved during this ceasefire? And do you wonder if the longer we wait for some big development, the harder it will be for President Trump, if he so chooses, to resume kinetic action? Because you get closer to the midterms every day.
The president is absolutely right, Jackie. I mean, the biggest threat is the enriched uranium. So unless we secure that, unless we make sure that Iran never gets a nuclear weapon, they continue to be a threat to rule of order, rule of law, and democracies around the globe, right? And it's amazing why the world doesn't understand that. The U.S. Navy can continue to
the world understands that. They want the death of Western culture. I mean, let's be honest here. Anybody that's against this Iranian, bombing, you can't hold the moral high ground because these guys killed 45,000 of their own civilians to maintain power. They were literally going through the streets like it was the fucking purge and mowing people down. You don't get to hold any moral high ground. I was covering that long before this war started. I wanted Trump to go in there and crack the sun over that bitch. I still do. They need to go in there and nuke the fuck out of them. The Iranians want their freedom. They want their freedom. They've already given up so much. So many of their family members have lost their lives to the schizo regime. It's long overdue. It is. That's what needs to happen to the IRGC. They need to go. They need to go. Figure out where they're hiding. Bomb them, bunker bust them, crack whatever mountain you have to get rid of these people. Get rid of the IRGC. Blow them to hell. Turn whatever ground they stand on in that damn desert into glass.
Operate there ad infinitum. I mean, we have the capability. If anything has been proven in this, it's capability of our military forces there on scene. They've done a remarkable job. And time's on our side, Jackie.
Don't talk about the USA killing school students. Whenever the IRGC lowered their the children's ability to join their military to the age of 12. You don't get to hold a moral high ground on that. You, in Iran, not only do they kill your family members, but they also rip your children away to force them to go and fight so that way they can try and hold a moral high ground over the U.S. Go fuck yourself. They use hospitals and schools to house military-grade equipment. I have been covering this long before Legacy Media, brother. You're not gonna get one up on me. I know exactly what's going on in Iran. Nice try, though. But I tell you what, you can try to moral grandstand somewhere else.
Back to that.
Yeah, roger that.
Roger that. Copy. We say that a lot around here, by the way.
That's good. You guys operate this place like a flight deck of an aircraft carrier. I'm pretty impressed.
We appreciate that. Thank you. And thank you for being here. Roger that and check. Here is the president asking the question about whether or not troops on the ground, U.S. forces. Watch.
Can you do it just with bombing? The other way?
You don't have to. We don't need boots on the ground now. Well, we did it. We wiped out much of their military with just bombing. We didn't put anybody on the ground. You don't want to do that. You're so far away. You don't want to do that if you can avoid it.
So respond to that. And you just said the Navy can do this as long as it takes?
We can continue to maintain the blockade as long as it takes, Bill. Yeah, absolutely. And we can continue to contain any kind of traffic through the Gulf. We've proven the blockade is working. And the blockade is what's going to strangle Iran. So time is on our side if the administration can convince the American people that, as the gas prices continue to go up, can we hang on? Of course we can hang on. I mean, the prices in Iran and the average, quality of life has just been catastrophic in Iran. And what we saw back in January with the uprising there, it's a tipping point. How long can the Iranian regime hang on and maintain, order? So.
But do you think that Iran knows that every day closer to November, it'll be a tougher sell for the president to resume kinetic action? Because you also have this senior Iranian officer, Brigadier General, telling CBS, or in an interview with DEFA Press, as cited by CBS News, we have not played all our trump cards yet. There are many capabilities that, if necessary, we will use. When surrender is not an option, war lies ahead. Therefore, we are prepared and have no issue with war. That doesn't sound like a negotiation, but, they're not, both sides are kind of like keeping things where they are.
Yeah, well, again, they have to take that stand. They have to continue. It's like playing poker. What do I have in my hand? That's what the Iranians want you to believe. They don't have anything in their hand, right? The president has all the cards right now, and we'll determine how we negotiate this. And I think things bode well for
the issue is that the Supreme Leader has openly stated that the IRGC members that continue to bomb places like Kuwait are openly advocating for this violence. They are. They want this violence. Why don't we just give it to them? Like, the Supreme Leader said that they just kind of like do their own thing. Okay, well, we could take care of that. No problem. Why don't we? Why are we sitting here playing games? Why are we doing this back and forth BS? It's ridiculous. It's garbage. What is this? Oh, another person was stabbed. Look at that.
Joining me now is former FBI Deputy Director and Fox News contributor Dan Bongino. Dan, thanks for being here. I want to get your reaction to this particular case, but I have the CV right, I'm pretty sure. NYPD, Secret Service, FBI Deputy Director. If there's anyone that is capable of answering this question, it is you, Dan. What's the one thing we could do to stop this type of crime?
Great-grandmother fatally stabbed on Atlanta train.
Because it's not rocket science.
Just put their ass in jail. Keep them there. Problem solved. What, you got somebody that's got a criminal record the length of a CVS receipt? What, they're not even 18 yet? Keep them in jail. Congratulations, you're going to graduate in jail, you're going to turn 18, and you're going to graduate into big boy jail.
You just have to arrest bad guys. Now, Will, you're probably saying, it can't be that simple. I assure you, ask former mayor of New York City, Rudy Giuliani, who dropped the crime rate dramatically in just a couple of years, and director of the FBI, Kash Patel, now, who dropped the national murder rate and crime rate dramatically over the course of, I don't even think it took a year, basically the first 6 months. When you go out and arrest violent criminals, violent crime doesn't happen because the violent criminals are in jail. If this sounds simple, it's not. I want you to just process this statistic for a minute. And this statistic is probably being generous, okay? About 80% of the violent crime is committed by probably less than 5% of the population, right? Most of those people who've been arrested have been arrested sometimes between 5 and 10 times. In other words, they've had contact with the system before. You have no idea how many open warrants there are out there for people from police departments that are just overworked and understaffed in liberal cities where there's not a focus on violent criminals, where you have people walking on the street who could be picked off tomorrow. When we came in under President Trump's direction, he's like, do whatever you got to do, guys. We are dumping.
Well, they have to turn a blind eye to crime because a lot of the illegals that they've bussed in and given all this welfare to, a lot of them are going to end up being very violent. Because they're from a third world country, right? Like, they're from a country where the legal age to... They're from a country where the Epstein files are their marriage records, okay? Let's just say that. So, like... And then their religion is very violent, too. So why is it that we are bringing these people here that are obviously committing crime, and they are being... The police are having to turn a blind eye to even standard crime because if they get locked up, they're going to be deported. It's crap. It's garbage. Oh, well, our numbers are the lowest than any other state in the country. Yeah, because you're not putting people in jail. No shit. Look at your streets. They're a freaking war zone. You've got burning tires and trash all over the place. It looks like something out of freaking Mortal Kombat, bro.
This crime rate no matter what. And we started helping locals clear warrants. It's not something the FBI traditionally did, Will. We never got involved in local warrants. It just wasn't our thing. I said, we're going to make it our thing because these violent criminals are a plague on America. It's as significant a problem as terrorism or anything else because people wind up dead, either through a terror attack or violent crime. And look what happens. Anyone telling you this is complicated, believe me, I would love to tell you in my last year at the FBI, I invented some kind of, renegade new anti-crime theory that no one, I'd write a book and make $1 billion. That is not true. Go arrest bad guys and bad stuff doesn't happen.
I will say, though, Dan, would you disagree that there is one complicating factor? And that is arrest is the first step. Conviction and imprisonment is the second step. And so you have to have prosecutors and judges that keep these recidivist violent criminals in jail and not on the streets. And that problem is probably more difficult because how are we going to, we're trying, got to deal with judges, got to deal with prosecutors, but that one is seemingly the tougher nut to crack.
Yeah, it's not as big of a problem in the federal system, but you're correct. There's this ideological divide on the bench where you have some judges, again, not all, many do their jobs professionally and well. The ones that don't, though, have this systemic discrimination, critical theory, the white male patriarchy, source of all power, knowledge, construct power, all this other liberal crap. And they keep making excuses for the perps and never make excuses to help the victim.
I want to hear about the human rights violation that happened to the victim. Whenever they're getting stabbed to death or having gasoline poured on them and lit on fire, I want to know about their human rights that have been violated. I don't really give a shit about the victim, the person that did it. Like, whenever you try to run from police officers, they should just Patriot missile your ass into the ground on the roadway. Like, you start driving away from police, they should just kill you. Straight up.
100% correct. If we don't fix the bench, too, yes, you put them in a pipeline, the pipe breaks, and they're right back on the street. You're 100% correct. Right. But that's why one of the things we did last year was flushing some of them through the federal system using these federal UFAP warrants, these flight to avoid prosecution warrants. Federal system's a lot harder to get out of, and it worked. But really, Will, there's no big secret.
Minimum sentencing guidelines federally, very little opportunity for parole or probation.
Point system.
Maybe some states should look at that model if you want to keep these same 5% from out there doing this violent crime. Dan Bongino, always good to see you. Thank you.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.
Okay, let's see. Oh, what do we got? Oh, here we go. What do we got here? Ooh, let's go.
Welcome back. The Delaney Hall anti-ICE protests have no end in sight, and local leaders say this is the fault of ICE.
I love to see that. Look at this guy being dragged.
Protests have no end in sight, and local leaders say this is the fault of ICE.
He's just getting dragged.
There were people out here for over a year without incident, without being thrown into the street, without being slammed to the ground, without tear gas and fires. None of that. Ground without being thrown into the street, without being slammed to the ground, without tear gas and fires. None of that.
I don't know what he said.
Place, which means people know how to peacefully protest. It was happening. I think it was escalated the minute ICE showed up on the scene.
I think it's hilarious because those were SWAT teams, bro. They were the law enforcement. Those were law enforcement, dipshit. Those were SWAT teams.
They created this kind of
not SWAT teams, riot police.
That took place that we have not recovered from until last night.
See, ICE, the problem is your presence. That's what at least you
They even had state police here.
Screen. Since the start of the mandatory nightly curfew, 61 arrests have been made. So do you really
fuck them? Put them in jail. You're out past curfew. Go to jail.
Think it's ICE who's causing all the chaos?
We will say every time protesting is not a crime!
Then you push us where you want.
Today, DHS Secretary Mullen was pressed on the threats from
Since building a new White House, the U.S. has been treating Canada, threatening Canada since 1812. It took natives. So like, you got absolutely destroyed here, and now you're trying to talk about like some nonsense with like you're not here. You're not doing any of this in good faith. You're just here to disrupt people. I'm gonna ban you.
Protesters during a Senate hearing.
Were some of the protesters or rioters violating the law?
Absolutely. Every time you verbally assault an officer by not saying that you're, whatever words you want to use, but when you say you're going to kill them and all their family,
Yeah, that's not freedom of speech. Yeah, you're right. And they got arrested for it because fuck them. It's not freedom of speech. You walk up to a police officer and you threaten them or their family, and they beat your ass and drag you and put you in handcuffs, then you had it coming. Exactly.
That's against the law.
That's not freedom of speech.
That's violating federal policy. When you put your hands on an officer, we had officers bit, we had officers scratched, we had officers poked, we had officers hit,
Yep.
We had objects thrown at them, we had car windows smashed in. All that is a federal crime and punishable, and we have zero tolerance for it.
Yeah, you can lax the laws in your stupid little state all you want, but when it comes to, like, you treat your own police like punching bags, big surprise you're having trouble keeping them. And whenever you do finally get them, most of them leave because they realize how shit your state is when it comes to law enforcement, actually being able to enforce the law. Yeah, federal officers aren't your fucking punching bags. They're going to fucking arrest people. So ICE agents.
Joining me now and fresh off that hearing is Louisiana Republican Senator and Senate Appropriations Committee member John Kennedy. Senator, it's good to see you here today. What did you learn about these protesters? I spoke to the Secretary yesterday, and one of the things that was fascinating is how many of these protesters aren't from New Jersey, that they've come in from across the country, like Portland.
Well, some of the protests are organic, but a lot of them are orchestrated and organized.
Even if there are organic protests, they have Antifa members in them regardless. They're just dressed differently now, and they don't claim that they're Antifa. They're obviously there to incite violence and riots. That's all they're there for. And they need to be cracked down on with the full force of the law. When you find one Antifa member that claimed that they were an Antifa member, you need to debank them. You need to figure out where they're getting paid from. You need to figure out You need to subpoena all their social media, text messages, and phone calls, and you need to find the rest of them and do the exact same thing. I guarantee you do that to one of them, it will spiderweb to 50 of them, and 50 of them will spiderweb to 100 each, and it will go down in a matter of weeks, if not months. That's how you solve this. They're not there to protest. They're just there to incite violence and riots. That's all they want.
I mean, here's the issue. It's really not complicated. Unless you're industrial strength stupid, you know that illegal immigration is illegal.
Was killed for no reason. Rick is probably one of the most sane people here. Renee was killed for no reason. Renee Good tried to run over a federal agent and she got capped. Rest in piss, you won't be missed. Enjoy jumping over hot coals in hell. She should be charged as a domestic terrorist for trying to run over a federal law enforcement agent. Investigators looked into it. State investigators looked into it. Everybody came to the same conclusion. Why can't you?
President Biden, no disrespect, but he couldn't play dead in a Western movie, just ignored the law. Now, I don't know whether it was his idea or I know some members of Congress, some Democrats encouraged him. And he let in, I don't know, 8 million, 15 million, we don't know how many, 20 million people illegally. And Mark Wayne Mullen, the new secretary, has got to clean all that up. Now, these protesters, there were some peaceful protesters at one point at Delaney Hall, but that's not what caused the ruckus. What caused the ruckus was just what the secretary said in the clip you just showed. You have the right to protest peacefully. You don't have the right to protest violently.
Exactly. I am so happy to see this narrative being completely fucking dismantled and thrown in the trash where it belongs. I am so happy to see this narrative getting completely destroyed. Why couldn't they just do this from the beginning?
You don't have the right to punch an ICE officer or scratch
your punching bag, bro.
him or spit in his face or call him or threaten him or call his family's names. You don't have the right to block ingress or egress into a detention center.
Exactly.
And these people want to get arrested because
they can spin their narrative because they think that legacy media isn't going to cover it. And they're right. It hasn't been covered for a while. Why is that, I wonder?
Many members of the media will.
You know what ended up happening? People that went there that were not necessarily independent journalists, but individuals that wanted to record what was going on, ended up, per the usual, making legacy media do their job. Per the usual.
Go, oh, look, ICE is violating people's civil rights. Here's some free advice, Will. ICE agents, cops, Border Patrol agents, most of them will leave you alone unless you do illegal stuff. And that's all this is about.
Senator, as you may or may not be aware, here at the end of the program,
you too, T-Money. Sorry about that, T-Money.
Of the Will Cain Show, we often have a little segment called Will of the People, where we hear from our viewers about various aspects. And we thought we'd do a little episode of Will of the People for you, Senator. You've got your new TikTok up, and we took a look at some of the comments, okay? And I wanted to share with you what some of your viewers, what of your TikTok fans have said. And here's one. Jennifer says, your staff needs a raise. They've got us all tuned in. There's also calls for you to take the stage as a comedian, Senator. Are you going to be giving your staff a raise? They're all listening.
When donkeys fly, okay? I stay within my...
Damn. That's cold. Okay, let's see. What else do we got? Do we have any more? We get to watch one more.
Calmer scenes outside a New Jersey ICE
watch one more and then probably roll up out of here for the day. Because I still have to make videos
facility
and stuff.
last night following 2 weeks of chaotic and at times.
If you're new here, sub to the channel, hit like on the stream. I'm here every single day, 8 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Central Time, as long as we have internet and the power doesn't go out.
Violent protests. Now it comes after Newark police took control of the area outside of Delaney Hall.
This is the movie Shrek
even as
now?
Newark's mayor makes sure to deny that local authorities are working with federal immigration enforcement.
Yeah, exactly. That's the best part. That's what I had said with the last video. Those were local police that were out there dispersing these crowds. But he just conveniently didn't bring that up.
When DHS claims that they are working with the city, and I dare to say the state to protect Delaney Hall and support its operations, it is completely inaccurate. Our decisions, us being out in front of Delaney Hall, has nothing to do with Tom Homan. He indirectly.
That's crazy, man. Really. So what you're telling me is that the riot police that were standing out with the horses and that were there to protect the ICE facility weren't really there. Those were all ICE agents. Man, I didn't know that ICE had horses, man. What's their funding look like nowadays? That's kind of crazy. Man, that's insane. Man, they really are like Wild West bounty hunters, aren't they?
He is advocating for this, which we are opposed to. But directly, we came out here before Tom Homan even got this position.
Now, he and other New Jersey officials have vowed to shut down that facility as soon as possible. White House border czar Tom Homan is having none of it.
Yeah, of course. Nobody is. Anybody with an actual brain cell and critical thinking skills is having none of this.
That facility is well run, and the governor keeps saying she's going to keep raising hell if that facility shuts down. Well, I got news for the governor. That facility isn't going anywhere. As a matter of fact, a lot of the people in that facility we couldn't release because they're mandatorily detained by federal statute. So we couldn't release them if we even wanted to.
Meanwhile, at least one of those protesters now faces federal charges for threatening an ICE agent and his family. That was 27-year-old Nicholas Matthew Scelfo, who faces up to 10 years in prison after his threats were caught on camera last week.
Yep. Drag that motherfucker behind the line and arrest him. Hit him with the baton, push his ass down with the shield, and drag him behind the state police lines, and then arrest him and put his ass in jail. That's not freedom of speech. Not at all.
Family's dead. Come on. Children, your wife, all dead. Touch it, my boy. I have your face, mother. You're dead. Dead.
And Paul, you have some information on Mr. Scelfo.
Yeah, I mean, according to some of the online reporting, he grew up in Valley Stream, went to Valley Stream High School. Median income in household income in Valley Stream over $121,000. Graduated North Valley Stream High School, which Money Magazine, by the way, named Valley Stream to be the best place to live in New York. It's in Nassau County, one of the wealthiest counties in the country. Excuse me, and also the safest, literally the safest. So that's all this stuff about, well, he's from Brooklyn and everything else. This guy grew up in East Cupcake. And now all of a sudden he's out there like he's some kind of violent activist.
W10 Jules from Stay 42, W Stay 42.
He's a joke. And he did ICE a favor. Because now when anybody questions why they have...
Who are you angry at? What are you angry about? The Constitution is gone? Constitution is just fine. Maybe you should read it. Maybe you should read what it says. Cherry picking doesn't count. You want to talk about the Constitution? What about the fact that California is trying to pass the Stop Nick Shirley Act, which openly violates the Constitution? She even said it. She said that it violates freedom of the press, First Amendment right. What about that? You want to talk about the Constitution? What about that? Sorry, but you don't get to make terroristic threats towards police officers. It's against the law. That's not freedom of speech. Making threats towards somebody is not freedom of speech. Claiming you're going to harm somebody is not freedom of speech. Cherry picking doesn't count as reading the Constitution. Trump bootlickers. Oh, well, here. There you go. Bootlicking liberal libtards. Just begun. It is when people are being arrested for freedom of speech. Is it illegal to threaten police officers?
Yes, threatening police officers is illegal. It's considered a serious crime, like a felony or obstructing justice. While you can criticize them, threatening violence or harm is crossing the line into criminal activity.
Oh, look at that. You were wrong. So now that I've given you proof, what's your next argument? I do this every day. What's your next argument? Do you have anything else? When the president is I'm not going to repeat that, and the country does nothing amid ICE agents are not police. ICE agents are above the police. If you break a federal law in front of an ICE agent and you're a police officer, you can be arrested. They have the ability to uphold federal laws, which, by the way, trump state laws. I don't know if you just like being baby-birded information as opposed to fact-checking it and coming to your own conclusions, but at the end of the day, there's a reason why this narrative is completely fallen apart and why you guys are completely getting destroyed. Like, it's... makes me really hopeful for the U.S. Youth. I'm not really young. I'm 31, but W viewer, and I don't see it as condescending at all. I'm just trying to make sure that people actually get the right information. ICE agents. So, like, is that it? Is that all you got? I'm not arguing with anybody. Pick their nose. You mean itching my nose? I'm just gonna ban you because you're retarded. You're stupid. You have nothing to go off of, so you've got to sit here and come up with some bullshit. Like, I don't have the patience nor the time for this. Like, you're stupid. I guess because I'm in front of a camera, I can't scratch my nose, guys. Didn't you know that?
Have to wear the masks. There you go. Just play that video, because here's a guy telling them, I'm essentially going to dox you. I'm going to come after your families. This explains all of it. And I got to tell you something else just to button it up. He's looking at 10 years at least here. They're going to go all the way on this thing. They may run into a bad federal judge, but they'll appeal it. He's going to wish he had the accommodations that the migrants have in the Delaney facility once he gets into federal prison.
Yeah, their lunch menu is pretty nice, and dinner and breakfast, because I read it, and it's more than a lot of Americans are eating.
Alexis McAdams pulled that out, and I tell you, I wish I...
I mean, I love these people that come in here and they're like, but freedom of speech. Go tell your boss to go fuck themselves and see how far that freedom of speech goes. Why don't you go and do that? Walk up to your boss and tell them to take the biggest, fattest dildo and shove it right up their ass and see how far that gets you. Don't talk to me about freedom of speech, motherfucker. You just saying that to push political ideology. That's all that is. That's all it ever is. That's all it ever is.
She did. Caroline, meanwhile, you have the governor there, Mikey Sherrill, saying, I'm confident peaceful protest will be able to continue there as it has for more than a year. So let's talk about the peaceful protests. We just spoke about one part, the violent threat. Then you have Todd Blanche posting these pictures. They are vivid, but look at these. It was a protester who bit an ICE agent, and you can literally see that deep bite mark. But that's peaceful.
Yeah, well, it's Democratic leadership that has directly incentivized that kind of ridiculous behavior, straight up violence. And I feel like we've seen this episode play time and time again. These blue jurisdictions, they go into this vicious cycle of blame gaming. Oh, it's the Fed's fault. And then the federal government's like, why haven't the local, authorities cooperated with us? This is what I think people need to fundamentally understand about immigration. Through the plenary power of the Constitution, it is the federal government's domain. This is something that they are expected to do, to enforce immigration law, to send...
Who is CW? CW. Oh.
out agents to apprehend, detain, and deport illegal aliens. And it is expected that localities will coordinate with them to make it easier so that these things don't devolve into violent spectacles where they have to surround rioters, where they have to do things in a kind of messy, ugly way. This could be quite civil and diplomatic if local law enforcement, I'm sure Paul has more to say on that, would simply work with them, but they don't. And as a result, Mickey Sherrill doesn't want to be responsible for having sowed this chaos, so she just directs the blame right back at the federal government and says, oh, don't worry, our cops took care of it. Actually, no, you tied the hands of the police officers by saying that they could not.
Don't make fun of my grammar. Get out of here.
They were forbidden from cooperating with the federal government. She created this mess.
And Bill McGurn points that out in the Wall Street Journal, Harris, that you put the onus on ICE.
You know how you make people stop acting like animals? You put the animals in jail where they belong. You want to go out and hurt somebody and threaten somebody. Like in a perfect world that I would create in the U.S., if you're at like a gas station and someone walks in front of you and cuts in line, and then you call them out and they start like saying that you're a bitch and they start trying to get all up in your face, you should just be able to pull a gun out and kill them. Yeah. That's the world that I want to live in. I want to be able to go to the gas station where everybody acts like a civil human being and is expected to go to the back of the line if you cut in front and not try to attack you and act like they're going to come back with their friends. You should just be able to pull a gun out, shoot them in the face, and kill them. You should be able to empty as many magazines in them as you want. If somebody breaks into your house at night, they should break into your house knowing that the law is that if you cross that threshold into their house, you become their property. You lose all rights to whatever you are as a person, and the minute you step foot across that threshold, you are now property. They can own you. And if you run, they should be able to get into your car and run your bitch ass over. That's exactly what should happen. So if you got that nice, you got that basement dungeon down there, as long as you confirm it with the police, you know what I'm saying? You just got yourself another person for the dungeon. That's how it is. That's exactly what I think. You start treating these motherfuckers the way they treating everybody else, you'd see a massive shift in the narrative.
And not on the violent protesters.
Yeah, but that's their MO. We've seen that. I mean, soft on crime. They blame the victims and they adjudicate in ways that benefit the criminals like that. Yeah. This is just another chapter in that. Look, I said this last hour on The Focus. If you thought that detention...
That's right. You don't jail a dog after it bites you. That's true. You don't jail a dog after it bites you. You remember that.
Looked a little familiar. It's because we've been down this road before.
You want to act like a fucking animal? You want to go out here and cause all this chaos? And you end up getting somebody hurt or killed? Or you end up doing a bunch of shit that leads to somebody getting killed? Shouldn't have done it. Shouldn't have done it. You shouldn't have done it.
With Representative LaMonica MacGyver. Remember when she had her, it's like she was throwing elbows at the federal agents saying, oh, we got to get in and see the conditions. Well, I hold those Democrat congresspeople to count now.
What do you think happens to them in jail, Einstein? What do you think that happens in jail? Do you understand how many things happen to criminals in jail? So what we should do is just let out all the criminals, right? Let all the criminals out. Let me tell you something. If you wave a gun at a cop and they shoot and kill you, you'd be surprised how many people stop waving guns at cops.
Like, let's hold them to account. If there are problems...
Again, I'll use Renee Good as an example. Whenever ICE agents shot and killed that domestic terrorist, Renee Good, guess what happened? Those idiots stopped using their cars to blockade ICE agents.
And they were willing to... This had gotten better. Or maybe they never existed and all of this was a play. But it's not a new play. And she's facing 17 years in prison because of the indictment against her for putting her hands on those federal agents outside that same facility in Newark, New Jersey. They know they have a problem on the left, but what they're thinking, I guess, Kaylee, is those people on the screen there, the ones who are screaming that they're going to kill people, are going to vote. I'm thinking many of them are not even from the state of New Jersey. I don't think that they do vote in their states, but I don't know. Let's see if that works out.
I also love seeing people that are against Trump that want the child rapists to run rampant in these states, by the way. So anybody that's trying to be like, oh, Epstein, well, what about all the child rapist pedophiles that are running rampant in all these states that are being protested against, that ICE is trying to remove from the individual states? What about that? Sorry, but if Epstein had any actual evidence on Trump, they would have found it by now. There's nothing there. You lost. You took another fat L whenever it came to the Epstein stuff. It didn't work. Move on from it. Find something else.
They'll have to take their masks off, though, to show us that they voted.
Yeah, is that the Democratic constituency, Ainsley? I mean, wow.
Well, y'all didn't care about that any other time.
Is so dumb. They're protesting detainees that are behind bars who broke the law to come to this country and then became criminals. Some of them are rapists. Some of them are murderers. Some of them molest children.
Look at that. But you want to sit up in here and act like you give two fucks and one shit about the Epstein files. It was a political narrative and you're a sick motherfucker. If you think for 1 second that narrative was going to go anywhere. You didn't give a shit about the victims. You just wanted to push your agenda and it fucking failed. Get used to it. It's called consequences for your actions.
And now you have these protesters who say we're peaceful.
Hey,
we see.
Where are all the protests to release the Epstein files? Where are those protests at? Why aren't they congregating around D.C. and protesting the full release and unredaction of the Epstein files now that the victims' names have been unredacted? Why aren't they doing that? But they're not. You know why? Because they don't give a shit. They don't care. They don't give two shits. They never did and never will.
Out there, instead of going to their jobs, maybe this is their job. Maybe George Soros or some left-leaning organization is funding this. But then I'm also confused by Mikey Sherrill, who is the governor of that state. She was out there protesting and then told her police officers,
100 joules.
you can't come in, you can't help ICE. So ICE gets involved. And then they're being injured. They're being bit. One was threatened of assault and murder, the guy you went through. Then she calls on the facility to be shut down. Then the state police does come in, and now Newark police is there, and there's a curfew. So what do these leaders really want? Do they... At first she said you can't come and help ICE, and now they are there, which I'm glad they are there. They're the ones that had the state police with all that riot gear over the weekend. But I just think this is a ridiculous narrative. Wait till midterms. If this is still the narrative, where's the common sense? These guys are the worst criminals. I don't want them out on the street.
This is what they lost on in 2024.
Correct.
Wake up.
Yes.
And let me just make one point real quick, if I could. Recognize this is the same narrative every time. It's right out of their playbook. When we had Al-Qaeda in Gitmo, inhumane conditions during the summer of love, the arrestees all here in New York. Inhumane conditions. They always go to that because we can't check it. Your average citizen can't go in and look inside the cell, what's going on. This is the classic default that they have whenever you enforce. They can't argue with the law because the law is the law. So, no, you're holding them in inhumane conditions every time. It's the same narrative.
That's what I've been challenging.
I mean, like, that's the thing, is that the narratives are falling apart. The narratives are falling apart. They are. Like, all the things that they've been using have completely fallen apart with the more information comes out with everything. It's trash, man. It sucks that the victims of Epstein got released, and it really does suck. It's awful. And I think that Pam Bondi should have been fired the second it happened. Pam Bondi should have immediately been canned. I don't understand how, like, the Epstein files were the one thing that Trump needed to get right, and he really, they needed Pam Bondi not to drop the ball on that, and she did. That should have been her immediate termination.
With this didn't help you politically over the 4 years of Biden, so why are you doing it again?
They just keep choosing to lose.
They keep choosing to die on this hill. It's dumb.
It's crazy, absolutely crazy.
And they're worried about the hunger strike in there, that the rapist can't eat because he chooses not to eat because they're not serving him the food from his country.
They should just be thankful they're getting food. Just be thankful they're getting food. Brother, in my perfect world, there's two things that you would get if you're a rapist or a killer. You would be forced into a work camp where the family of the person you killed would determine how much money they're going to make off of you and how many hours you work a day. And the same thing would happen to a rapist. And you would be thankful for the one meal that you would get a day that would literally be pig slop. I would go out of my way to visit prisons and shake hands with the wardens that give them dog food. Oh, but they're human rights. Fuck them. Where were the human rights of their victims? Where were their human rights at when they were maliciously violated by these sick individuals? Fuck them. Be thankful that it's not public executions.
Well, then go back to your country. Why'd you come here?
Right. And they were woefully silent when there were young migrants in their facilities being run by Biden, eating bloody chicken, eating raw chicken. There were lawsuits, Caroline.
Hey, I like that idea. Yo, man, hey, check this out. I like that idea, too. Give them some raw food. You want to act like an animal? You want to act like a goddamn animal that's out in the middle of the forest killing things? You get treated like a damn animal. Give them some raw meat. I like that. That's good. That's a good one. I need to shake that warden's hands.
Kept coming. But they ignored it. There were no protests for them. There were no protests for the young girls on suicide watch list, peeing in bags. That's what they were doing, peeing in bags. All of this in court documents and news reports.
Yeah, and the Obama administration let this facility run. Plenty of facilities ran, and there was never a peep out of these agitators. I find that funny, the convenient timing of this. But, one thing's for sure, and I'm glad that Tom Homan is doubling down. If a single one of these facilities closes and they capitulate and acquiesce to their demands, the message to the cartels, to everyone trying to get here illegally, cutting the line, is our border is optional. It's actually not a real thing. National sovereignty is fake. Come on in.
I think we're lucky if that's the message.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? I think the worst and probably maybe even more realistic message is you can go there and do anything you want. They'll never, ever, ever do anything to you.
And abuse their benefits.
Right. There are no consequences in the United States of America if you came here illegally and became a violent criminal also.
Exactly. They keep getting handcuffed and they keep getting let out. That's exactly what happens to them. And it's disgusting.
You brought that baggage with you. You continue to kill here. Talk to the Angel families. I mean, spend some time with some of these people. I'm telling you, it could be much worse than what it already is. Thank goodness the president has closed the border.
You know what? Rename the facility the Laken Riley Detention Facility.
Yes.
Good idea. All right. Well, the DHS has responded to the lawsuit that this is a frivolous lawsuit, they say, and ICE is committed to transparency.
No, I got a better name for those facilities. Home for the criminals, for the land of the free. There you go. Home of the criminals, for the land of the free.
Responded to the lawsuit that this is a frivolous lawsuit, they say, and ICE is committed to transparency, and Delaney Hall complies with all required state and local laws. Just last week, they say...
It's just a slap lawsuit. That's all they have left. They can't use their constitutional cherry picking. They can't use this whole racist card. They can't use all this other nonsense. They're just going to try and slap suit now because that's all they have left. They can't afford to keep up the protest. Antifa's kind of like dispersing now that federal agents are going after them. People are getting put in jail by the local police because J.D. Vance is a G. It's over, dude. This nonsense, this constant threat of violence and anarchy and allowing these criminals to act like they're victims, it's coming to a complete and total abruptly end. And it's so blatantly obvious when you look at the districting map of America how blood red it is. There are so many Republican states now, it's most of the frickin' country. What did you think was going to happen? Yeah, Americans are getting killed, man, and you're not holding these people accountable. Regardless of their ethnicity, their gender, their race, where they came from. Nobody cares about that.
May 28th, 4 representatives of the New Jersey State Health Department arrived at approximately 11 a.m. They entered the facility and inspected the food service department. The inspection of the kitchen was completed, and they departed around 12:30 p.m. And we will continue to grant state and local inspectors access to the facility where appropriate, DHS says.
Yo, what if they called a prison that? And it's like a work camp. It's like a work prison, right? You go there and they force you to work. They like cattle prod you into working.
And ICE is regularly audited and inspected by external agencies. All detainees are provided with proper meals, quality water, blankets, medical treatment, and have opportunities to communicate with their family members and lawyers. That is the DHS response.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.
All right. Oh, that is it. That's all I'm going to do today. Stayed on just a tad bit later. Nothing crazy. As long as the internet stays on, we should be live again tomorrow. Other than the storm that happened yesterday that knocked out the internet, we should be on time tomorrow. And if you're new here, sub to the channel, hit like on the stream. I'm live every single day, 8 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Central Time. Like I said, as long as an act of God, like the apartment being struck by a bolt of fucking lightning, doesn't turn out the internet. W chat, as always, you guys are awesome. W donos, W jewels, W gifted memberships, W new memberships. Y'all are freaking awesome, and I look forward to every morning whenever I get to roll out of bed and turn on the stream and chit chat and have a ton of fun talking shit to people. It's the best thing in the world. Stay safe, stay friendly out there, stay away from crazy people. We'll go back to like a normal stream tomorrow. There was a lot of new games that got announced that I was unfortunately unable to look at this morning, but tomorrow morning we'll look through all of it, and it'll actually be a pretty normal stream tomorrow, hopefully. Stay safe, stay friendly, stay away from crazy people. Try to put a smile on somebody's face. You might change their whole day or their whole life. You never know. And I will see you beautiful people first thing tomorrow morning, bright and early. Peace! Stay American. God bless America. Stay patriotic.
No, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas, think I'm okay.